2024 has been a great year for music, kinda. The women dominated the last 365 days, with the likes of Sabrina Carpenter and Charlie XCX both releasing monumental albums. That being said though, what was album of the year? As I just mentioned, Sabrina and Charlie both released great projects this year. However, so did Faye Webster, Billie Eilish and Taylor Swift, just to name a few. But who comes out on top? Now, of course, it wasn't just the women with great albums. Kendrick Lamar came out with GNX, Juice WRLD's final album, The Party Never Ends, finally released, and Tyler, the Creator, unleashed Chromacopia into the world. But do any of these records deserve Album of the Year? Let's not forget about The Cure though. Their album, Songs of a Lost World, delivered some of the best music composition of the year. Beginning to end was a masterpiece, and I'm very happy The Cure are still capable of delivering such great music. Irish band Fontaines DC released my personal favourite album of this year in Romance, a brilliant indie record that explores very emotional landscapes with the atmospheric production that it has. Enough of the waffle, however. Let's get into the nominees. My nominees are Vulture 85 by Logic, Vultures 1 and Vultures 2 by Kanye West, What's Wrong with New York by The Dare, What a Devastating Turn of Events by Rachel Chinururi, Undressed at the Symphony by Faye Webster, Charm by Clairo, No Name by Jack White, Chromacopia by Tyler, the Creator, This Is How Tomorrow Moves by Bieber Doobie, Hit Me Hard and Soft by Billie Eilish, The Tortured Poets Department by Taylor Swift, The Party Never Ends by Juice WRLD, Songs of a Lost World by The Cure, Brat by Charlie XCX, Short and Sweet by Sabrina Carpenter, We Don't Trust You by Metro and Future, Romance by Fontaines DC, GNX by Kendrick Lamar, and American Dream by 21 Savage. So let's get into who I think deserves Album of the Year. That whole part was scripted. From this point on, I'm going to completely wing it. I'm going to try to give my best reasons on where I think these albums are in this list. So let's get started, I reckon, because there's a couple here. Now, personally, Vultures 1 and 2 would be at the bottom. I just think with what Kanye West is capable of, he can definitely do better. I think these were big letdowns personally for me. I'm a big Kanye West fan, and these didn't do anything for me, unfortunately. But that being said though, What's Wrong with New York by The Dare. I'd never heard of The Dare before I listened to this album, and respectfully to The Dare, it's the worst album I've listened to, I think, maybe in my life. And I've listened to Trout Mask Replica, and if you've listened to Trout Mask Replica, you know what I'm talking about. That album is horrible. However, What's Wrong with New York by The Dare is next level stinky. He doesn't sound good. The music isn't good. The lyrics make me feel sick. So that's probably at the bottom, to be honest, below Vultures 1 and 2. Then we have What a Devastating Turn of Events by Rachel. This album actually really intrigued me at the start. The cover is, I assume, of her with an acoustic guitar in like a council estate setting. I thought maybe the whole album would be acoustic songs with a British female vocalist, which I think can really work. But this album just didn't click. There was a few decent songs, but with that being said, I can't really remember the names of them. So to me, pretty forgettable. The album is good, but maybe it's just not the best. But that's why it's nominated, you know? And then we have Undressed at the Symphony by Faye Webster. Faye Webster is someone that just, again, doesn't really click with me. The songs are just too slow, and I understand how people can like them. She's a great artist, and Undressed at the Symphony is a good album, and if you like it, you like it 100%. That's completely on you. I'm just not that big of a fan. That being said, it's the same with Charm by Clairo, I think her name is pronounced. I know she blew up. I think she might have blew up this year. A couple of her songs were big on TikTok, I believe. Again, this is sort of a common theme that these albums just don't really do anything for me. They don't leave me with any sort of emotion after listening to them. They're just pretty forgettable. No Name by Jack White is the first album on this list where I actually think I actually enjoyed listening to it. This record had such great guitar playing on it. It really, really intrigued me from beginning to end. I think I preferred the instruments though, more than the vocals and the singing. This album's fine. It just doesn't really break the top half of the nominations, I'm afraid. listen, Jack White, if you're watching this, lad, I mean, you don't need me to tell you, because you've got like, let's see, 1.4 million monthly listeners. I mean, the album's good, it's just not great. Same with Chromacopia by Tyler, the Creator. This might be an unpopular opinion, but I really don't like this album. I think it's probably my least favourite. Maybe not, maybe second least favourite Tyler, the Creator album. This just doesn't click for me. The song Like Him is one of the bigger positives from this whole record. It went big on TikTok, I believe, and that's where I heard it from first. And then I listened to the album, realised that song was the one from TikTok, and that one is probably the best one on the album. The rest of it is just pretty underwhelming, I'm afraid. Tyler, the Creator, is so talented and he's capable of so much better that I think this album was just a little bit disappointing. However, still nominated, but doesn't quite make it. Now we're getting into the albums that I really enjoyed, but just didn't win. Just like, there's no other way to put it. This is How Tomorrow Moves by Beabadoobee. I got into Beabadoobee a lot last year. This album was pretty fantastic. I'm pretty sure this album had Real Man on it, didn't it? Yeah, this album had Real Man on it. The dance has since gone to like viral on TikTok, I believe. This album is great. Beabadoobee is such a talented singer. Her voice is just like kind of so like unique in a way that she kind of sticks out more than other pop. Is she pop? I think you probably count her as pop, right? She sticks out more than other pop singers that are around her stature, which I think makes her stand out a little bit more. This is How Tomorrow Moves is a great album. I thoroughly enjoyed it all the way through. I probably enjoyed it more than the next nominee, which is Hit Me Hard and Soft by Billie Eilish. Hit Me Hard and Soft was fine. Birds of a Feather is a great song. Billie Eilish, I was such a big fan of Billie Eilish from like 2017 when she first saw us. I believe she started in 2017. Around the time she released her Happier Than Ever album is when I sort of drifted away from the Billie Eilish train. Her music got a lot like slower and emotional, and it just began to just not be for me as much anymore, unfortunately. So Billie Eilish really fell down my personal ranks. She wasn't in rotation as much. So I was actually looking forward to this album, and it's good. It's great. It's better than Happier Than Ever, but still isn't completely there for me. Like I said though, Birds of a Feather is a great song. I really like that. It's in my rotation at the moment after listening to this album. I added it to the playlist and it is great. Hit Me Hard and Soft though, it's just like, she can do better, and I think she might know that. Next up we have, and please don't come after me here, we have The Tortured Poets Department by Taylor Swift. This album is so good. Like, it just is. Like, I don't care if you're out there and you like hate Taylor Swift because she's cringe, or because she's so popular so you have to hate her because you're jumping on the bandwagon, and like you just like to be that guy who hates popular things because you want to be different. Listen, shut up and listen to a Taylor Swift album because they're great. She topped my Spotify Wrapped this year. I really love Taylor Swift. This is not my favourite album by her. It's probably not even like top 3. It's probably not even top 5 if I'm going to be honest, but this is still a great album in terms of albums that released in 2024. The song Fortnite with Post Malone, great. This album is fantastic. Don't let anybody tell you that Taylor Swift makes shit music for white girls. It's definitely for white girls, but you know what? Count me in, because I love some Taylor Swift. The Party Never Ends is it's an interesting album. It's Juice WRLD's final ever album, of course, and a posthumous album as well. It's fantastic. I love it. I'm the biggest Juice WRLD meat rider you'll ever see. I've got 999 tattooed on my neck. I've got a big Juice WRLD like tapestry up in my room. I will meat ride that man until the day I die, quite frankly. And I don't care if anybody out there thinks he's corny or cringe. Suck your mother, because like I just don't care. Do you know what I mean? This album, I loved it. It definitely could have been so much better. It could have been so much better, but his team, I think it's still good. But there was so many unreleased songs on there that there was just ones that I wanted to hear more. Outer Space still doesn't have an official release. That's my favourite Juice WRLD unreleased song at the moment. It's just fantastic. Empty Out Your Pockets is such a tune. Love Letter is such a tune. This album is fantastic. I think it could have been so much better. Hopefully the deluxe edition, which is not out at the time of me recording this, has some more fantastic unreleased tunes, which I'm pretty sure it will. Next up is Songs of a Lost World by The Cure. This album is so good. It's quite like, it's a long album, but it doesn't have many tracks on it. A lot of the tracks are like 6, 7, 8 minutes. And it's a lot of instrumental music. There's not a lot of vocals on the record as a whole. But I mean, The Cure are The Cure, a legendary British band, paved the way for a lot of bands that are out right now. Boys Don't Cry, you've probably heard of the song, released in 1979, I believe. One of the best songs to ever come out of this country. The Cure are a legendary band, and to see them still going in 2024 is kind of crazy to me. And also, can I just say, releasing an album of the year contender in 2024, The Cure is crazy work, so I absolutely respect it, and it's 100% up there for me. It doesn't win it purely off the fact that it's like 85% an instrumental album, and records like that are just not going to win album of the year ever, unfortunately. But that's kind of just how it is. We Don't Trust You, Metro and Future. I mean, one of the best trap albums of the decade, I reckon, since 2014. One of the best trap albums. It spawned, I believe this was the album, or maybe not. Oh, this played an integral part anyway in the Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef, which is like some of the best beef to just sit through that I've ever experienced. It probably is the best beef I've ever sat through as a hip hop fan. Like, it was mental. It was so good. Those couple of weeks in the space was just crazy. Although I believe it started from a first person shooter on Drake's album, For All the Dogs, and then Kendrick Lamar responded on this album, and then it all just kicked off from there. Other than that though, still a fantastic trap album. Now we're getting into the business end of things. These next 5 are my top 5 albums of this year. Just missing out in 5th is Short and Sweet by Sabrina Carpenter. I think she's had an unbelievable year. She's absolutely blown up and she deserves it. She's so talented, and this album is just fantastic. It has banger after banger after banger. Some of the most replayable songs of the year. Really easy to listen to, really enjoyable to listen to. I don't have to pay too much attention. They're just fun and bouncy, and they make you feel like a bad bitch, yo. So that gets 5th for me. It doesn't break the top 3 purely of the fact that it's not typically my type of music. That being said though, number 4, this is really tough. In number 4, I'm going to have to go Romance by Fontaines DC. I never really dabbled in Fontaines before I listened to this album, but wow, this project is unbelievable. The song Starburster is one of my favourite songs to come out this year. I think it's unbelievable. It was in my rotation a lot over the last couple of weeks since I listened to this. Fantastic tune. The whole of the record is unbelievable. You heard me talk about it in the intro. Very emotional and atmospheric sounding indie record, and if you haven't listened to it, go for it, because I didn't think I'd like it. I just didn't want to listen to it. I don't really know why. It's just I've never really listened to the Fontaines before, but unbelievable album. Right, business end. We have top 3. In 3rd place, I haven't even thought about this before this second, by the way. In 3rd place, we have Brat by Charlie XCX. Might be controversial. I know it's album of the year for a lot of people, and you know what? I'm not mad at it. I think it's absolutely class. 360 is one of the best songs to come out in the last 5 years, never mind just this year. Charlie XCX absolutely smashed it. It was a Brat summer indeed. In fact, it was a Brat annum. Is that the right word? But I don't know. I'm sticking to it though. This album is fantastic all the way through. Some of the best production I've ever heard on like a pop. Is it pop? On a pop record? Like Charlie XCX as well. I'm a bit biased, British girl. You get me? But this album is just fantastic. It's album of the year for a lot of people, and they would not be wrong in saying that. Second place. Wow, this is so tough. Looking at this list now, who do I put in second place? Second place is GNX by Kendrick Lamar. I mean, it's Kendrick Lamar. He doesn't really miss ever. Squabble Up gets so much hate, but I actually just love that tune. It's Kendrick Lamar. Like, do you know what I mean? He's probably the GOAT. If you think about it, his discography now, dare I say, on par, if not better than Kanye West's. It's just unbelievable the levels Kendrick Lamar is capable of. That being said, in first place for me personally is American Dream by 21 Savage. I can't even put into words how much I absolutely just love this record. Red Rum has one of my favourite hip-hop beats ever. Just ever. Just makes me want to put my fucking head through a wall, but like in a good way. It's just unbelievable stuff from 21 Savage. I think, personally, my winner of Album of the Year is American Dream. So there we have it. There we have it. That was my Album of the Year list. If you agree, let me know. If you disagree, let me know, but be nice about it, you know? I also have 2 subcategories in Song of the Year and Artist of the Year. I don't have a list for these. These are just one name of what I think they were. Song of the Year, I have Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar. Mate, when this song came out, it was insane. The height of the Kendrick and Drake beef. This song, I couldn't believe it. I was like doing backflips in my bedroom. I was going crazy. Just an unbelievable tune. The biggest song of the year, and it's not even close. Artist of the Year, I have Sabrina Carpenter. She made moves this year like nobody I've ever seen in my life. She went from unrecognizable pop star to worldwide sensation with one album. The whole year was unbelievable for her. She smashed it. She went on tour. I don't know. I'm guessing that bit. But she did a lot of live shows. People loved it. She did a Tiny Desk concert. People loved it. Released one of the best albums of the year. And do you know what? She absolutely smashed it. She deserves it. The success that she has is fully deserved. So there we have it. Album of the year, and then a little bonus song and artist of the year. Let me know what you think in the comments. Also, if you've made it this far, I really appreciate the support on my last video. As we stand right now, it's like on like 800 views or something, which is crazy. It's officially now my most viewed video on the channel. Which, like, do you know what? Fair play. It's a Fortnite escape room video, which is bonkers. But I just appreciate it. If you've seen that video, if you've liked it, like, come and give me a kiss. Do you know what I mean? I just appreciate the support because it kind of banged. So yeah, anyway, thanks for watching, guys. See ya.